Hi, my tubies, my TikTokers, SheilaTruelove here with you, and I'm going to share something with you from Umar Johnson. And a lot of things he say is definitely valid. At the end of his discussion, I want to share with you my take on when he's saying that, black people need to stick together and what have you, whatever. But what he's saying, he's making some very valid points, and we will discuss it after you listen to this and you give me your take on it, your viewpoint. I'm definitely interested in your ideas when it comes to this.
Cannot talk about black men being in the home and being effective fathers if we don't help black men address the economic crisis that they face. The reason South Africa's jails are filled with black men, America's jails are filled with black men. Jamaica's jails, Haiti's jails, Brazil's jails are filled with black men is because they have to break the law in order to take care of their family. So the economy is largely responsible for the disintegration of the traditional black family. A man's job is to protect and to provide. What are we doing to help them provide? I just heard yesterday that we got young black men in South Africa, university degree, graduate degree, medical degree, can't get a job.
100%.
Why would I want to build a family that I'm not able to take care of? The reason we don't see more black women get married is because men don't feel confident that they'll be able to care for that woman and child. We have to look at the self-esteem of a man, the self-image of a man. Why is suicide so high for black men in South Africa? So high for black men in the United States? Because so many of us are being crushed by lack of economic opportunity, the stress of not being able to fulfill our God-given responsibilities as a man, that we just take our own lives. So empowering manhood goes hand in hand with economic empowerment. Number two, women are being empowered while men are being disempowered. Feminism is coming in to convince black women that the reason you make more money than your counterpart is because he's a lazy, shiftless, worthless Negro. They're not telling our black women that South African society deliberately empowers the woman and deliberately disempowers the man. By the way, they do it all over the African world. Why? Women are not military threats to the white power structure. Men are. So they don't care how many black women become doctors and lawyers and politicians and leaders. They don't typically fear women militaristically. They fear the men. That's why they cater to the woman, hoping she ignores our condition. What we need is black men to stand by black women and black women to stand by black men. Because even though the black woman might make more money, even though the black woman may have more income or better education, she still suffers as much as we do. And I think sometimes black men overlook the unique challenges of black women because their education and income is blinding us from the fact she's the most likely to be sexually assaulted. She still has to deal with racism on the job, sexual abuse from her white employer. Black women struggle as much as we do. So it's not about the oppression Olympics, who suffers more, who's more responsible for whose demise. Black men and black women need to stand together and fight as a unit, not individuals. When it comes to the issue of fertility, I can flat out tell you the biggest reasons for infertility issues on the African continent, child mortality on the African continent is Planned Parenthood International. US, UK, French authorities who come into Africa, invade the medical system, invade the family planning system, and they pollute our women with birth control pills that cause cancer and infertility. They give them vaccinations that cause cancer and infertility. They pay black women to get hysterectomies. You got people like Bill Gates, the United Nations, the Rockefeller Foundation that come into Africa and fund family planning programs that deliberately seek to reduce the population of African people. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. And I'm not against no homosexual or no lesbian. I love all African people, but I reserve the right to disagree with any lifestyle that threatens the survival of the traditional African family. LGBTQ is the new birth control pill. Why do I say that? 2 men cannot reproduce. 2 women cannot reproduce. And now they're even transgenderizing our children. Do you know what that means? They're manipulating and indoctrinating African children to undergo sexual surgery so they'll never be able to reproduce again. When Dwayne Wade, whose son is now legally had his birth certificate changed, he's legally a girl.
Yeah.
Hormone therapy. When he gets 30 years old and looks in the mirror and says, you know what? I don't like living like this no more. I want to go back to being what God made me, a man. I want to get a wife and I want to have children. We only got one problem, don't we? Your reproductive is gone. We got another problem. Your testosteronic levels are gone. Your ability to produce healthy seed is gone. There is no going back. We are not looking at this LGBTQ thing the way we should be looking at it. It is birth control and racial extermination. Why you think Kamala Harris is traveling throughout Africa, trying to convince African countries to legalize gay marriage? Why does America care how Africa chooses to run its society? What do you care about marriage in Africa? Because if we can invade African culture to the point where we can manipulate African children into same-sex relationships or outright transgenderism, which is the extermination of your bloodline, we can start predicting the reduction of the African population. They'll never be able to get rid of all African people, but they can damn sure make a dent in our numbers. But more than that, they can disrupt the natural, traditional, healthy, cultural way that we live our lives, build our families, and run our societies. LGBTQ is one of the greatest weapons of white supremacy against the survival of African people. Number 1, we cannot talk about black men.
Like I said, he made a lot of valid points. You know, I really resonated when he said that LGBTQ, whatever, no disrespect intended. It's just hard to remember. I say the alphabet people, but they say that's offensive. So the LGBTQ, yeah, it is like the new birth control. You can't, a man can't produce nothing. A woman can't produce nothing. And my thing is this, when it comes to him talking about black women and black men, we need to stand together. Black women have done nothing but stand with black men. So he needs to kill that noise, and I'm going to prove my point. You see, black men are not checking for black women. I look at Kendra G's show a lot, you know, and when you look at these ebony women, they're all talking about, I want a black man, a black man, a black, everybody's trying to be loyal. I know so many ebony women who I keep telling them, you have to branch out, honey, please, because why be loyal to a group of men that's not loyal to you? Their main thing is they're checking for Caucasian women, okay? And let me prove my point. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to show you something right now. Here we go. Now, remember what he said, that black men and black women, we need to stick together. You know what I'm saying? Instead of black men going to uplift, elevate, glorify all these other races of women, mainly Caucasian women, that's the Caucasian man seed, you know, because the white man, the Caucasians come from the white man's semen, their sperm. So that's the white man's nation. That's his people. So they rather take care of anyone else's nation except for their own. So with Dr. Umar Johnson, all of the things that he was saying here, it made a lot of sense. At the same time, black women, we've always had black men's back. We've always had their back. Have they always had ours? Take a listen to this.
For you, what percentage of black men do you think are actually checking for black women? Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Anwar White. I am a dating coach for smart and successful women of color, specifically black women, and we have to talk about this. Because I think a lot of y'all think that the majority of these black men are actually checking for you, but as you can tell by the graph above, girl, it's only 37%. Now, this was a study done by OkCupid about response rates from black women, but as you can tell, black men are only representing about 37%, and that is not significantly different than Hispanic men, Indian men, and even Middle Eastern men are significantly higher than black men at 40%. Why am I sharing this? Because a lot of people will tell me, oh, Anwar, you're anti-black love. I'm not. I'm actually pro-black woman love. So I want you all to have the biggest opportunity to find love. And the best way to do that is to check for people who are checking for you. These black men are not checking for you as much as you think that they are.
Thank you.
And that is especially true for dark-skinned black women. That is not in the statistics, but I'm pretty sure it's probably half of these numbers. Why am I sharing this with you? Because I want you to date all of them, honey. I want you to date all of them. I want you to find your guy.
Thank you.
Try brown if you're not ready for all white. And if you're ready for white, specifically look for the Jewish and the Italian men who have historically married and been with black women. Marriage rates for black women are 29%, which is half of those other races. The reason why is because there is a hyper focus on being with black men. Only 37% of black men are really checking for you. We gotta go where we're loved and where we're cherished. I hope this helps, and if you want to learn how to date differently with the wider net, book a call with me.
Now you see that? They're not checking for black women. Black women are out here checking for black men, trying to be loyal, trying to have their back, trying to hold them down. They're not checking for black women. So when Umar Johnson comes across talking about how black men are all locked up in Africa in the jails and all that, and we're supposed to give a damn? Why exactly? Why should we give a damn about how they're treating these black men today? Why should we? They don't give a damn about us at all. They're not checking for us. What do you say, 37%? How are you going to sit up there and you want to uplift somebody else's race, somebody else's nation, except for your own? That's insanity to me. That's crazy. So when he wants to talk about how black men are being mistreated and why they are elevating black women and hiring black women more, because black women are hard workers. Black women have loyalty. Black women have integrity. Something that black men, they need to work on that big time. And I'm not a racist, and I don't care about interracial dating, but make sure you take care of home first. Make sure your race of women are taken care of. There are a lot of black households that need a man, or better yet, want a man in it. You don't need it, but you want a man in it. They're too busy taking care of the Caucasian, well, not Hispanic, because that's black, so that's cool. Puerto Rican, yeah, we all there. Hispanic, Dominican, we all together, black. You know, but you got these Caucasians, you're looking at Asians, you look at everybody else but your own nation. You want to build up everybody else but your own. Let's glorify her. Let's build her up. Let's elevate her while you sit around and tear down your own. And then you want to sit up here and make comments like Umar Johnson. Child, please. Black women have done nothing but have black men's back from day one. And what have they done to ebony women? They part their butt cheeks and they've defecated straight on us. So don't sit up here, Omar Johnson, which I like dude. I really like him. And you got to kind of save dudes like him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's pro trying to get black people to take care of each other. But I said, you must be smoking crack, or you must be smoking crystal meth, or put down the dope, the weed, whatever. Black people will never make it to where they can be because they will never stick together. That's never going to happen. Never. And it starts with the men. The men, they're never going to be loyal. And like you notice what this man said, especially if a woman has dark skin or brown skin, you know, that's even less likely for a black man to even want her. That's a black man who should want his own woman. He don't want to date no woman his own skin tone. How sick is that? How sad is that? You don't want anyone your own skin tone. That's self-hatred, sweetheart, really. I want a red bone. I want someone light skin. I got to have somebody with pale skin. How sick are you? So, with all due respect, Umar Johnson, God knows I like you, dude, and I have mad respect for you, too, for real, for real. At the same time, it's not about the black women trying to turn against the ebony man, the black man, we're ebony, whatever. It's the black man. It's always about these black men. No loyalty, no integrity. Let me tell you what I would love. On television, I don't ever want to see a black woman with a black man again. I don't want that. I want them to promote and market and advertise black women with Italians, with Asians, with Caucasians, because you see, black women have no other choice but to date outside their race because we outnumber black men in record numbers. So we have an excuse. An excuse means it should be excused. We have no other choice. If you want children, if you want a family, if you want marriage, it ain't gonna be with no black man. That's for sure. He's too busy taking care of the Caucasian man's nation, honey. He's taking care of the Caucasian man's woman, making sure she's good, elevating her, glorifying her, taking care of her. So no, It's bad enough there's a shortage of black men. Half of them are gay. A lot of them are in jail, can't get decent jobs. And then the little bit that's out there, they're chasing after anything that's except for their own nation. So when it comes to ebony women, honey, please, I'm telling you, fit in, go where you're going to be loved, honey, and appreciated. I see a lot of that happening now. Thank you, Jesus. Prayers do get answered. I see more black women now branching out, honey, because they're tired of it. They're sick and tired of it. Remaining loyal to you, and you're never freaking loyal or faithful to us. You have everybody else's back except for your own. Stupid. So ebony women, go out there with those beautiful olive-colored Italians, those Puerto Ricans. Well, they're black too, but I love Hispanic. But that's like my preference, Hispanic. For real, for real. My children's father is Hispanic. For real. And mixed. Yeah, I did it like that. Because waiting on the black man to treat me right, that wasn't going to happen, honey. Anyway, branch out there and get yourself a nice Asian man. Asian men are feeling us. I had no idea. We had no idea. I'm going to post some videos down below and show you what's going on, how people are definitely moving towards ebony women because they love our strength. They love how we are the backbone of the community. They love how we are dedicated. They love we have nothing but loyalty and integrity. We're trying to stand by this race of men, this nation, but all they're doing is defecating on us. We have to move on. You have to. I know too many black women who are talking about, I don't want nobody. I just want a black man, but he don't want you. You see what the studies show? They're not checking for you. They're not checking for you. So move on. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have children if that's what you want, and a family, and a man who's going to take care of children that he create. You deserve that, ebony woman. You. Oh my God, I get emotional thinking about how hard we work, how diligent we are. And we got to sit up here and put up with these clowns. You're not checking for your own race and nation. You rather build up anybody else's but your own. Circus. That's a circus show. And it's all about these men. It's about the men. It starts with them. They're the sellouts. And like I said, love is love. Love have no color to it. I agree with that. At the same time, there's a responsibility that comes along when you're in this black thing, baby, because it's bigger than what the rest of the world is experiencing. This is bigger than that. And there comes a certain responsibility that you owe. Especially black women all throughout history have done nothing but have your back, no matter what. This is SheilaTruelove. As you see, I get very passionate about this because ebony women, we are awesome. We are beautiful, we're strong, we're hardworking, we are amazing. Just to have our own race and our own nation of men try to tear us down. They're doing everything to try to tear down their own. How sad is that? And like the Bible says, you reap what you sow. Maybe that's why they're locked up in the jails in Africa. Maybe that's why they're being treated badly all over the world. It's called reaping what you've sown. How about that?